Hello, everybody! Welcome to Japanatron. Japanatron's a podcast all about Japan, life in Japan, and Japanese culture. Today's topic, I want to talk about cycling in Tokyo. Now, a lot of my coworkers at work cycle into work. They bring their bikes in, and they've convinced me to jump on the bandwagon as well. I think it's a healthy thing to do. I don't live all that far from the office, so this is something I've recently looked into and have started. First of all, I bought a bike. Okay, that's something that's needed. It's necessary for cycling. And I got a folding bike. And I was thinking about this a lot. You know, why would you get a folding bike? Well, this is Japan, man. This is Tokyo. It's not just Japan, it's Tokyo. So, why did I get a folding bike? Now, I blogged about this. I wrote an article about my research and everything that went into this purchase. So, if you're more interested in that, you can check out my blog. I got an article just about the hunt for the ultimate folding bike. But really quick, why folding? Number one, it's easier to park. When I first started cycling, I'm like, let me give this a try with just my existing mamachari, like an old woman bike. It's the bike with the fenders on it, the mud guards or whatever, and the big basket and the bell. And I'm like, before I start plopping down some cash for a nice folding bike, let's see if I actually like biking to work. So I kind of did this trial with my mamachari. And I had to park it because I'm working in central Tokyo. I had to park it in like a park, and I wasn't all that cool with that. Now, for a mamachari, okay, that's fine. I don't think it's going to get stolen or messed with, but, it's got to be parked outside all day. And, Japan's not too bad with the whole stealing bike thing, but it does happen. And I've had cases, I've never had my bike stolen, but I have had cases where stuff was taken off the bike. Like I had a light, like a headlight, and someone jacked that. So yeah, that kind of stuff does happen, and I wasn't all that cool about parking the bike outside all day. The other thing is, it's not just about keeping it safe, parking it outside all day, but it's also like the weather. It'll start raining. Japan's weather is really dynamic, so it'll be fine in the morning, and then I parked it in the park, and then it's like pouring rain on the way home. And what do? I got this bike parked outside in the rain, and now I got to take it home. So there's that kind of versatility thing, in case of rain. In case I got some sudden crazy overtime, and I just don't feel like biking home, in case I get crazy drunk or something, coworkers want to go out after work, a friend wants to go out after work, it's kind of cool. I could just fold it up, I could keep it in my office, and yeah, that's why I wanted folding. It's just that's the main thing, is I really wanted that versatility. I could bike in the morning. Oh, shit, it's pouring rain. Okay, we'll just leave it at the office. Cool. I'll just take the train home. So that was the big thing about folding that I really dug. It's just, folding bikes are just, I think they're pretty popular in Asia in general because it's so crowded and there's no place to park the bike and they're getting stolen and fucked with and the weather's changing. So all those reasons, folding is a good way to go in Japan, especially in Tokyo. Okay, so I started biking. I got this nice bike. If you're interested, like I said, I got the blog article. Long story short, I got a bike from a company known as Turn. They got this little bird logo. Really cool bike. Really, really nice. Very, very happy with it. Performs really well. Nice, like 20-inch wheels. Nice, really portable. Folds up really well. I didn't want to get a cheap folding bike because those things are just crappy. So anyways, here's some quick learnings in my few months of experience cycling into work every day. Number one, no one wears a helmet. Which, being American and from California, I grew up with a helmet law. Kids had to wear helmets. So you don't often see people not wearing helmets, at least in California. In Japan, no one wears a helmet. In fact, the only people I see wearing helmets are foreigners, like me, because maybe they come from countries that are strict with the helmet laws. So there's that. There's the other thing I see is little Japanese kids. I guess their parents, you say, hey, little boy, put on a helmet, but dad and mom aren't going to because we don't really care. So whatever. Okay, that's fine. Foreigners are the only ones really wearing helmets. There's also some other blatant things that really shocked me because Japan, to me, has this image of safety. It all surprised me because it's generally known for safety. There's like these Mr. Safety dudes at construction sites. There's lots of road signs. There's always people that saying like, oh, I'm sorry for the inconvenience. Please go around this pothole. And there's always these lights and these mechanical people waving wands and all these kind of things, and vests with bright lights flashing. All this Mr. Safety stuff. I don't see so much, with like videos from, on YouTube of like China with people walking and they fall into like unmarked, potholes or stuff. I don't see that so much in Japan because there's always like Mr. Safety laws and all that crap, the socialist country thing. So these kind of things surprise me. No one wears a helmet. Number two, people smoke while riding, which is just funny to me. The two just don't seem all that compatible. You're cycling and you're smoking at the same time. It's kind of like, it's a sport, right? It's like you're playing volleyball and smoking a cigarette at the same time. I don't know. It's just funny to me. So there's that. Number three, people listen to headphones while riding, which is just insanely dangerous to me because you can't hear any of the traffic. You can't hear people ringing the bike bells. You can't hear people yelling at you that you're going the wrong way or something. You can't hear horns honking as well. So that just seems kind of dangerous, the headphone thing. Next, I see moms with two kids on the bike, a kid in the front, a kid in the back, and they're going insanely fast. In fact, I learned that no one is faster than a Japanese housewife with kids on the bike. Even like the decked out Tour de France guys, and there's a lot of those, you'll see like these Japanese dudes decked out like Tour de France, and they're really not that fast. It's just all about, this is like an image thing. No one can beat Japanese housewives. Number one, they're just in an insane fucking hurry. I don't know why. They're just like crazy go, go, go. And Tokyo is go, go, go in general. But the Japanese housewives with the two kids are just fucking insane. I don't know what the hurry is. The other reason is their bikes are decked out with these like electric assist systems in them. And they just sort of tap the pedal and then they're just like boom! It's like a rocket engine. It's like an electric rocket engine built into that bike. And like you're going up some like steep hill and they're just like boom! There's like fire coming out of the back of the bike and they got the two kids on it or something. So that's the other reason. No one can beat a Japanese housewife with two kids on the bike. What else do I see? I see people riding on the wrong side of the road. So you're going down a one-way street and people are coming at you, like towards you, even though you're going the correct way down a one-way street. And of course there's texting and smartphoning while riding, and I hate that because they're just like kind of wobbling on the bike and you're like, oh my god, you are going to die. Another one I like to see, it's funny to me, is someone, and this is typically high school kids that do this, is there'll be someone riding the bike and there'll be like a dude or dudette standing on the back of the bike, and they'll be going down a hill like really fast and someone's standing on the back or sitting in front on the handlebars. So that's a good one too. Like I said, this all surprised me with the whole safety thing. So yeah, that was kind of funny. That was kind of a bit of a surprise when I started cycling daily. The other thing that really sucks, is that cars hate you and pedestrians hate you. You are hated by both. You're the most hated of all commuters. You are hated by cars and pedestrians. And even other cyclists hate you. So I realized really quickly that you just gotta wallow in that, and you just gotta be a total fucking asshole. You just gotta be a total asshole, because everybody hates you. And really, if you take home nothing else from this episode of my podcast, take home this. You gotta be an asshole, okay? This is really the main point I'm trying to drive home, okay, throughout this entire episode. Okay, so let's talk about learning specifically when it comes to street riding. Now, when I'm going to work, I can choose. I can ride on the street or I can ride on the sidewalk. And at first I started, okay, I'm going to favor the street because there's just too many people on the sidewalk and it's just easier. I can go faster. I can deal with these big cars. I can't deal with these people like just constantly in the way, going really slow. So I favored initially street riding. Okay, and here's some learnings I got from street riding. Buses aren't too bad. Buses really aren't as bad as I expected them to be. They signal, they're really predictable, they're really slow, and they're not too hard to avoid and maneuver around. You can really see their movements coming. Taxis, on the other hand, are complete fucking assholes. They are number one by far. Taxis are total assholes. In fact, they purposely will fuck with you, like they were just born to hate cyclists. Like they are your natural-born enemy. That is what Japanese taxis are when you're cycling. They will just purposely come really close to you. They'll buzz you. They'll be complete assholes. I can tell you, I really don't think that deep down inside that Japanese taxis actually want to hit you. They just want to mess with you. If they actually hit you, they got a problem. Cops will come maybe, and you're gonna get hurt probably by that. That's not gonna end well for you if you get hit, obviously. They just want to mess with you. So there's this kind of like little game they play. They just want to mess with you, but they don't actually want to hit you. And I gotta be honest, I'm really tempted to kind of kick the door or something, sort of stick my foot out so that my foot kind of bangs into the door and just kind of gives him a little scare. He thinks he hit me, like bum bum, on his car, and he just gets freaked out or something. Maybe that will scare him straight a little bit. And I'm really tempted to just kind of poke my foot out and just give the side door, the back door, a nice solid kick. And it's even better if he's got a passenger, a customer at the time. The reason I haven't done this yet is I'm pretty sure this wouldn't end well for me. If he pulls over and cops come, I would probably just have to jam. Just go. If he pulls over and wants to start some shit or something, cops come. And being a foreigner, it's never going to end well for me. I'm the minority. Cops are going to ask for my ID, and then, it's going to be all downhill from there. So this is why I haven't really done this. As foreigners, we especially have to follow the rules. Okay, let me just put it that way. One good thing about taxis is that they always inevitably open the left side door because that's the automatic one that they open for the customers. It's the one closest to the sidewalk when they pull over. So when you see him pulling over, or he already is pulled over, you could be pretty sure that the door on the right side where you're passing usually is not going to open. However, I'm not 100% convinced of this because, I don't know, something may happen. The driver himself may get out or something like that because he's driving on that side, and you never know. So you gotta be really careful with taxis. So watch out especially also for the left turn lane. You're typically riding in the left lane. That's the slow lane. A bunch of buses are hanging out there, and not many people really want to drive in that lane because it's the slow lane. You get a bunch of people pulling over and blocking shit. But whenever you're approaching an intersection, you're going to get a ton of taxis, inevitably. Always, they want to turn left there. And this is where it gets a little tricky. Do you pass on the left and you bank on a bunch of pedestrians crossing, and they'll kind of block the cars from turning left into you. So there's that approach. The other approach is you pass on the right, and you put yourself into a faster lane of traffic, and you go through a green light or something, or you stop at the front of the intersection. That one's a little bit scary, because then you'll get people buzzing you closer and assholes honking at you as you come into the faster lane. And option C, which I like a lot recently, is I hop up on the sidewalk with the pedestrians, and I cross at the crosswalk with them. This just seems like a slightly safer option, especially with really busy intersections where a bunch of people are lining up, turning left. So yeah, I would favor kind of option C. So ride on the sidewalk basically when the street gets treacherous. And this is really the coolest thing about cycling. No one else can do this. Pedestrians can't just start walking in the street, although some do. And cars can't just go up on the sidewalk. Even motorcycles don't do that in Japan. At least they follow that rule. I can't say that about other countries. So that really is the cool thing about cycling. You have the option. You can choose sidewalk or street. And as you start doing your commute, and you start learning the ins and outs of your commute, you know which parts of the sidewalk get really crowded, which parts of the street get really crowded and treacherous, and you can flip back and forth. Okay, the street here is really treacherous, so I'm going to go up on the sidewalk here, and deal with the pedestrians. And hopefully a pedestrian crowd isn't too bad. So that's a really cool thing you can do. So just watch out for that left turn lane. So that's taxis and all that. Scooters and motorcycles can also be total assholes too. I've had them buzz me really close or something like that. What you gonna do? It depends on the person. Every country in the world has assholes, and you got to deal with them. And when you're on a bike, yeah, you're gonna have to deal with that double threat. You got the fast people on the bikes, on the motorcycles, and the cars, and you got the slow pedestrians on the sidewalk. So yeah, you're hated. So deal with it. At least you can choose between both. Some other tips about street riding. Don't rush yellow lights. I learned this really quickly. This is death. This is total death. That light turns yellow. Really think about stopping. Or get up on the sidewalk or something. Don't rush it. Because what's going to happen is someone's going to turn in front of you. A car is going to think you're a slow bike and that you're not going to go through the intersection on the yellow light. And a car will turn in front of you, and this happened to me. So I jam on the brakes, the car makes his right turn, and I'm stuck in the middle of the intersection, and it just turned. The light just turned. Pedestrians are crossing, and cars are going, into me. So it's a mess. You get stuck with someone turning in front of you in the middle of the intersection, and the light just changed. It's the worst position ever. That is if you don't get hit by the car that turned in front of you. So yeah, I've learned really quick, don't fuck around with yellow lights. Stop at them. Stop at them. Last tip with street riding is eye contact is awesomely powerful, especially as a foreigner. Give that fucker a dirty look. Give that taxi driver a dirty ass look. He'll back down. Okay. They're just big teddy bears inside. They are pussies. They are all bark and no bite. They just want to fuck with you. They want to buzz you. They want to honk at you and, be assholes. But they don't actually want to deal with the circumstances and the consequences of actually hitting you. So eye contact, really powerful. Look at people and communicate how much of an asshole you are. All right, next, I want to talk about learnings while riding on the sidewalk. Okay, so this one's fun because nobody's gonna pay attention to you. Okay, everyone's ignoring you while you're going faster than them on a bike. So you really have to pay attention to the pedestrians. You really have to watch and look 100 yards ahead as to what is going on, and really react quickly. Especially if you're going to go at any kind of speed on the bike. Otherwise, you might as well just be walking your bike with the pedestrians. Okay, and the most dangerous thing that I have found is these what I call smartphone zombies. They're just people walking with the smartphone up, texting, Facebook. They are not looking at anything. They will get hit by cars. They'll get hit by you on the bike. They'll get hit by a woman pushing a baby in a stroller. So you got to watch out for the smartphone zombies. You got to watch out for the moms with the strollers, okay? You got to watch out for the delivery dudes with carts, okay? And you got to watch out because everyone has a fucking, like, suitcase. And I'm not talking about suitcase that you carry. I'm talking about, like, those roll suitcases. You know, like you're going on a flight, like you're going to catch a flight. I don't understand what the fuck people are carrying to work these days, but everyone has one of those. They're carting some big-ass suitcase behind them. And the thing is that's tricky about biking on the sidewalk is you got people pushing baby, strollers. You got these delivery guys pushing carts, and you got these suitcase motherfuckers. You can't see that. Okay, because it's low to the ground often. So you really got to watch out for that because you might just careen right into a suitcase or something because you didn't notice that dude was towing a suitcase behind him. So you got to listen. And this is why I'm not really cool about wearing headphones. You really got to listen for the wheels and all that and everything that's going on. You have to really pay attention when you're in a sidewalk bike riding situation. So beware for all of that, okay? Especially the suitcase and the smartphone zombie motherfuckers. Watch out also for subway entrances and exits, and you'll learn where these are really quickly. Those are like beehives of activity. They got people coming in, coming out, and you'll just slam into somebody and not even know what was going on because all these people, it is literally an anthill. It is literally a beehive of activity. Be really careful around those. Try to avoid getting too close to those entrances and exits of the subways because there's inevitably going to be people oozing in and out of there. Also, beware of hot girls. These are so dangerous. There are so many hot girls, especially in Tokyo. And I'm riding on a sidewalk. It is so easy to get distracted because there's just so many hot girls. It is so goddamn dangerous. They're everywhere. They are going to distract the hell out of you. They got these tiny little mini skirts and high heels. Oh, it's so evil. They're so evil. They distract the hell out of you, and you're going to be like, whoa, look at the BAM! So you got to be careful. You got to learn how to just give a hot girl a really quick look, but keep your eyes on the road. Do a little peripheral thing, whatever, when you're checking out all the hot girls in Tokyo. Just, you got to be careful with that. I thought about wearing something like horse blinders. Those black things that horses wear to keep them looking forward. So that it's kind of like a hot girl blinder. But that just doesn't seem like a very safe idea. I think I'm probably going to hit something else. Blinding my peripheral vision probably isn't the best cycling safety idea. So I kind of X that idea. A few other tips. Sidewalk riding. Ring the bell like a fucking psycho. This is awesome. Just ring the bell, and when they see that the asshole ringing the bell like crazy is a foreigner, everyone's gonna move out of the way. Like, oh shit, crazy foreigner ringing the bell. And if you want to take this to the next level, you can yell stuff like, oh shit, no brakes! And do it in English, preferably in English. No brakes! And ringing the bell, you will get down the sidewalk really quick. Why English, okay? Where you run the risk of people not actually understanding you. The thing is, the key is not really the words you're saying, the oh shit, no brakes. It's really like the emotion you're putting into it. It's kind of the loud sound you're making, like banging pots and pans. Also, an advantage of using English is if the cops stop you and say, like they start some shit with you, like, hey, what's going on? Why are you screaming so much? You could just make some other shit up, like, oh, that's just the way, we do it in English. That's just the way we do it in my country. Sorry about that, Or, like, dude, I was saying, like, no snakes. I saw a snake, dude. like on the sidewalk. So I was just warning people about the snake, So you might get the cop that like speaks native English or something, but yeah, probably not. So that's the advantage of English. Hey, if you speak another language, that's even better too. Like Croatian or something. Start screaming that. So that'll help out a lot. Another thing I really like to do is I like talking to myself out loud, like with a full voice while I'm cycling. It's kind of like I kind of give Tokyo like a commentary of my experience while I'm commuting on the bike. And this is especially fun on the sidewalk. I'll just say, "Oh shit, look at that fat dude," or "Dude, get out of the fucking way, motherfucker!" Or, "Oh my god, look at that, a hot foxy chick. Yeah, foxy! Woo! Hey!" Cat calls and whatever. Just talk to yourself out loud. Like, oh, thanks, motherfucker. Thanks for getting in my way. Oh, nice, smartphone there. What are you texting? Really important stuff. You're tweetering. Yeah, whatever, dude. All right. Just kind of give like a commentary. I laugh. It's a good time. It's a good, fun, enjoyable time, with myself. So, yeah, that's sidewalk riding. Okay, so I've arrived at work now. I've hopped up on the sidewalk when the street gets treacherous, and vice versa. I go back in the street, and I've finally... I have arrived at work, and I am alive. I've folded my bike up. I've taken it up with me in the freight elevator, and I deposited it safely behind my desk in a very tidy position. Very organized. So I'm now at work, and I'm all sweaty, okay? What to do, okay? I'm kind of soaking sweat. I'm pouring sweat here. So what do? There's no shower at work. I can't just shower up. It's not a gym. I got to get to work. So number one, I wipe myself down with like wet wipes, or use that body spray. That stuff that gets you the chicks. So there's that. And Japanese offices, at least ours does, has tons of these wet wipe things. So just sort of like wipe yourself down. There's that. Keep a bottle of Febreze around. Those kind of like those things that like when you can't do laundry. It's like laundry in a bottle. It's like spray laundry smell, and you just sort of like I just sort of shower myself with Febreze, and then I'm good. I'm good to go. Fresh flowery field scent. And I gotta be honest though, it's getting hotter and hotter summertime. And I will be honest, I'm going to probably take a hiatus from this very soon. A little break from this biking in to work. Because number one, I am like insanely sweaty and my deodorant is just not cutting it. It's just like melting off of me, before I even get to work. And then also there's the heat stroke thing. I think I'm going to die probably, like pass out on my bike and just die on the street, of heat stroke. So that's probably not really a good thing to have happen to me. With the cycling thing. So, yeah, just be aware of that. When it's like 35 degrees Celsius outside, it's getting up to, almost 40 degrees Celsius, whatever. You might want to think, hey, maybe I should just take the train today, Because, yeah, you're burning some good calories by cycling, to and from work, but there is death, to kind of think about. And I don't really want to deal with that yet. So the heat stroke thing, just be really careful. Because even young people think like, oh, I'm fine. It's always old people that get taken down with the heat stroke. But that's not true, man. Even high school kids and whatnot, we all get it. So just be careful out there, man. Tokyo's a crazy place. So yeah, I'm arrived at work. I'm freshly Febrezed. I got some body spray. I'm good. I'm nice and flowery. Okay, and you've burned a lot of calories. So yeah, okay. There's my tips. There's my spiel for the day. Conclusion. Let's wrap this up. Very final thoughts about cycling in Tokyo. And I noticed Tokyo definitely, from my life here, it definitely has this go, go, go thing. You gotta go, go, go. You gotta walk fast. You gotta cycle fast. You're in my way. Honk, honk, beep, beep, shi-ching, shi-ching, but politely. You gotta go. Okay? And I fall into this trap all the time. I gotta admit it. If it's one proponent of go, 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 it's me. But there are times when I'm cycling and I just sort of slow down and take a deep breath. And I'm like, why the F am I doing all this? Why am I doing this? Why am I so go, go, go? Why am I in such a rush to get to work? Why am I in such a rush to get home from work? It really doesn't make that much of a difference. So, I'll see some old dude, some salary man, whatever, on an old, mama chati, the old woman bike, just sort of, just going along real slow, a fisherman type guy maybe, and a fisherman salary man. Yeah, there you go. And I'm like, yeah, that's the right approach, man. I got to get back to that Zen, that old school Zazen thing. Just take it easy. You don't have to fall into that Tokyo go, go, go trap, So, yeah, just think about that. There's really no rush, So sometimes I just take a deep breath and just, I'm just going to take my time today, So there's the one conclusion. And final little thought with this is there are times often with this go, go, go thing, I really envy Latin culture. And Latin culture is kind of collectively, like, I'm going to say France, Italy, Spain, South America, Latin America, Mexico even. That I guess is collectively Latin culture. And in speaking with, people I've met from the Latin cultures, I really envy them because generally speaking, I'm not trying to stereotype here, but they kind of have the opposite approach. There's a siesta and the... there's not this go, go, go thing. There's like, spend time with your family. It's all about the familia. It's all about the familia. Familia. Spend time with your family, let's close up shop for a few hours and take it easy. Life is too short. There's really no reason to go, go, go and rush, rush, rush. Really, what are you rushing all this stuff for, So... sometimes, when you're falling into that pitfall of the Tokyo go, go, go thing, work hard, go, 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 company is your family, take a deep breath and just try to respect, what Latin culture says about that, and just sort of shut that off, So that is cycling in Tokyo. Let me know your thoughts. Follow me, leave me comments, rate and review, all that shit. If you go to Japanatron.com, that'll take you to the Japanatron section of my main site, that has my blog and everything. That's mondaiji.com. And I got all my follow me stuff, and my Twitter and my Facebook and my iTunes and YouTube and all that stuff. So yeah, subscribe, rate, and review. It keeps me motivated to keep doing this stuff. Give me your feedback. Let me know if you have any comments about this stuff, and if you have any ideas, stuff you want me to talk about and address about life in Japan. So yeah, thank you very much. Have a good day, and toodles.
Welcome to Japanatron. Japanatron, 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 Japanatron.
You have received this transmission from the Comedy Podcast Network. For more shows, visit comedypodcastnetwork.com.